Hello and welcome back. In this lecture, we will learn more about the Microsoft Entra groups. So these are the configuration that we are going to learn related to the global settings. These are the global settings that can be configured from all groups, and under settings you have three different options. We would be looking into each of these in detail. So before you work with all groups, for creating either a security or mail enabled groups, or even with a dynamic user or assigned or dynamic device group, you should actually look into these settings. This way you will learn more and it will help you to easily manage. So the first thing first, in general, you have an option for self-service management. So users can create the groups on their own, and that's called my groups. So users can create on their own, and they also have, of course, in this month, that's the June, this is the current month, they are restricting this option. Otherwise, in general, you should be able to restrict even the groups that they have an access. Either way, now look at this security groups. From a security point of view, users can create security groups in Azure Active Directory or in Microsoft Entra portal with an API or PowerShell. Do you really want to configure that? I would seriously say no because of the security concerns. So we don't want to allow them to create, but your company has a requirement to allow them to create security groups. You could choose this button to yes as a toggle. And now from a Microsoft 365 groups, users can create 365 groups in Azure portal API PowerShell. This is how you could toggle from yes to no. With this simple option, users, for example, if I log in as a Chris in this case, I should be able to create a new groups straight from here, like new group. It could be for a test group. Like this, you should be able to create, and later point you have an option to configure additional settings, like you want to make it as a public and users can, anyone within the organization can add or they can find out this group. So this is where this option comes, and this can be fully controlled by your global setting. So that way you could prevent Microsoft 365 groups. So now let's have a look on expiration date. So I would simply save the current configuration including the ownership of the group to yes, and restricting, anyway this is gonna take out sooner in your GUI. And now from a security groups, yes, users cannot create, and we don't want allow 365 users also. And save on that. And let's point to expansion. And this is a group lifecycle. Let's say if you have created any of the Microsoft 365 groups, so ideally, these Microsoft 365 groups will have a data. So because these will be used for your SharePoint or Microsoft Teams channel, because end users will be collaborated with Microsoft 365 applications like email, Teams, or SharePoint portal. Means the data will be there within these Microsoft 365 groups. So you have to clean up them technically. Otherwise, you would end up by storing lot of cloud specific data. That's where this specific setting would be no useful. You could configure here custom lifecycle that you could configure. So in this case, you could configure maybe 365 days, and after 365 days, the groups will be automatically deleted. Uh, if the end user who is the owner of that group is not received the email, uh, if he's not acknowledged that or he has not requested for renewal, it would be automatically deleted. For example, if I'm the admin, I also receive an email, for example, IT help desk at landinmylab.com. Along with this, the group owner also will be notified. So enable expansion of these Microsoft 365 groups, all of them, or you could limit with a specific groups only. For example, test project, an alpha a project, or whatever the projects you want to limit a specific or all of them. This information can be configured, but you need to have a license for this mailbox in order to receive email notification for this contact as well as the owner. When I say owner, if you find out any of the group, and this group will have its owner here listed. So in this case, the all company group can be fully managed by AZ admin. He's the owner. You could also add additional users, for example, Bobby or Maddie. These guys can also manage, but these persons should have an email ID so that they would also receive an email notification. Now, that being said, let's also look at additional policy and naming policy. For some reasons, you could also upload or you could add some kind of blocked naming word list. Let's say some kind of bad words or some reserved words you don't want to use them, so you could simply upload here or so that it would be completely blocked when they are trying to create any of the groups. And the naming policies also we can apply. For example, if anybody is creating, they can create any name, right? We wanted to standardize in that situation. You could, go with adding a prefix. For example, it should start with department name, and then uh, it can consist of a title, a company. These are the uh, titles, or these are the naming standards that you could define so that always, for example, a finance group name which is in a Seattle, so that we can easily identify this is a group related to the finance department, belongs to some group. That group can be a maybe project alpha in Seattle location. So that's how you could, define as an example naming policy can be applied. So these are the three ideal configuration that you have to look into it before you actually start creating any kind of, groups. That being said, I'll catch you in the next lecture in order to create these couple of groups.